and welcome to another episode of Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. Today we are solo. Our co-host, our beloved co-host, Ali, is not feeling well today, a little sicky, and she needs some R&R. So your girl Maddie is holding down the fort. She is holding down the fort. I was a little bit nervous to do this episode without her, but I was like, you know what? We have an amazing guest that I met from TikTok. I will give a little intro to her. I just finished the conversation with her. We talked for like an hour. It was so freaking fun. So let me give you a little intro to who we are, what we do. I am one half of the podcast, Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. We talk to women. We're two health coaches. Allie's also a health coach. I work with women 50 and up menopausal. Allie works with first-time moms and moms of littles. But we came together and created this podcast because we wanted to create a space, a community for women to not just learn about their health, because we know that gets boring, but to really be able to come together, laugh, cry, because if we're not laughing, we are crying, talk about pop culture, talk about different things in our life, really give you a fun space that you feel like you're just gabbing with your two friends, your two best friends. Because we know we did not want to be another health podcast. We're like, well, today's study shows that drinking water is good. We did not want to do that. That is not us. We are not that. So we love bringing on guests once a month. Our guest episodes drop the second Wednesday of every single month, and we bring on guests that are women, that are empowerment, that are on health, that are on this. Today we have on Alex, and we're talking about divorce, dating, how to have a healthy hoe era. We're talking about all of the things. So you can go into the show notes and find a little bit more about us. Our Instagram's on there. All of the notes on our guests will be in the show notes as well. But let me give you a little introduction to her. So I met her on TikTok. I was just like following her TikTok. I'm like, oh my God, she's just like me. She is a divorced woman. She's a city girl also, I believe. I'm forgetting where Philly. I'm pretty sure it was Philly. I might be saying that wrong. But she is a content creator. She talks about her divorce era. She talks about getting divorced, divorce enthusiast, which I love that. I have been loving her newest, I'm blanking on it, her newest series. Wow, sorry. I had a moment there. Her newest series, How to Have a Healthy Hoe era. She also does a series on there was another one. I think she's doing it on using different dating apps. We talk about different dating apps on there, but she's really just like a really cool person. She started her TikTok because she was going through divorce the same time two of her other friends were going through divorce, and she noticed like we're having the similar like experiences. I think someone else is having the same experience as me. It's basically why she started it. But she's been super fun. It was a really great conversation. I really wanted to dig into some of my benefit, honestly, how to be unattached when dating, approaching men. If you find yourself feeling a little masculine when you're dating, like asking for the number, making the first move, just getting through divorce, why healing is actually, for me, I think healing was more possible healing in a relationship and dating, because you can only heal so much by yourself when you're wanting to heal all kinds of triggers, but we really get into it. So if you are new here, welcome. If you were from Alex's world, we are so excited to have you guys, and hopefully you'll stay and love the conversations that we're having. Normally Ali is here, but again, she's sicko today, so you'll hear again next episode. And with that, let's just get right into it. I am so excited to have you on. I mean, we already had like our mini little intro, doing a TikTok live.
Yes.
But like I said in the intro, you're just a super cool person. And I've seen some people talking about dating after divorce, talking about life after divorce. But something that caught my attention about what you have been doing is that it's like not from this negative standpoint. It's very much fun and flirty. And like I think Ali will attest to this, where I'm super hard on myself and I'm like, I'm so negative. She's like, you're not a negative person, but like I really love to like sit in the positive and have that emulate, from my pores, not the negative. So
Yeah.
I, I would just love to go down, and we can get like as personal as you want to get. Like, I'm never gonna ask you to tell me something you don't want to tell me. But how did you find that positivity through divorce? I don't know if it was
Yeah.
positive, but like after as well.
Definitely. I mean, it's a process, as you know, like getting divorced is just this humongous, extremely life-changing event. And for me, it was a change for the positive. Like I mean, I know not everybody comes at divorce from the same place, but for me, like it was me like freeing myself. And like I don't want to
Mhm.
say that. I really don't want to say it in such a negative light like, "Oh my God, my marriage was like the worst thing that ever happened to me." It really wasn't, but I just got to a certain point in my marriage where I like the person that got married like I was no longer that person. Like I just went on this like
Mhm.
personal growth journey and I felt like I grew in this direction and my now ex-husband just like stayed right here. And so it just got to a
Mhm.
point where like it was just like too heavy for me to carry. I was no longer the person that I was in that marriage. And I just like, I had to get out. I had to get out. And so when I did, I just felt like this humongous release. And it was just like, I had a major shift in my identity. And so I felt like very energized. It felt like this humongous
Mhm.
restart in my life. And all of a sudden, I felt like so grateful for it. And I just had this energy, like literally like bubbling up from inside me. And I was just like ready to get out in the world. And
Uh-huh.
part of that for me was dating again because like I did
Mhm.
feel like I was missing so much in my marriage. Like part of what made me ultimately want to leave was I just like had this like nagging thought in my head like this cannot be it. This cannot be it. This cannot be the only way that I'm going to be loved for the rest of my life. Like this
Yep.
just doesn't feel good. It doesn't fill me up. And so when I got out, I was like, well, let's see what else is out there, you know? And so I just like had all this energy for dating. And there is so much like negative content around dating in general, not just dating after divorce, but there's so much negative content about like how hard it is, how awful it is, how men are trash,
Mhm.
dating apps are trash, everything's horrible. You're never going to meet anyone. All the good ones are taken. And it's just like,
Yeah.
um, I can see where people are coming from, obviously, because it is hard. It is really hard. And you're not gonna just like immediately fall into a relationship that's like the perfect thing for you. So like it is a process and you are certainly gonna come across people that are like not great, but for me, like I was just like, I'm having a good time. Like I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm having a good time. So I just like I really like to put that out there because I just don't want everything to be so negative and so heavy. And I had a good time. I met good people. I had fun. So I'm like, other people can have fun too. Like it's possible.
I'm such a firm believer that what you say is what's true. So if you say men are trash and there's nothing, then it's going to be trash and nothing is going to be fun. And it's
Exactly.
going to be, like not great. Like I say that to like my mom all the time, where she's like, she was telling me about something a friend told her, totally irrelevant to dating. And she was like, just as you get older, it's one thing after another. I'm like, that's what you're telling yourself. I don't
Hmm.
believe that. That you can have that, not mine. Not mine. Like, I want to
Definitely.
continue to believe, and we've kind of chatted back and forth in the comments about this. Me getting back into dating post first breakup, post divorce. I'm going to continue to believe that there are good people out there. And when I do like really get back into dating, like I will find those people because I'm putting myself in different places and meeting different people and staying positive. Because even being around people, if you, for anyone, our listeners and you too, like you can feel when someone's energy is negative. Like when someone has negative energy, it's like a disease. I'm like,
Hmm.
stay away from me. I don't want that negative energy. And there's so much online stuff like where it's negative around dating. And it's just like, it's like you stay on one TikTok 1 second too long, and then now you're down the wormhole of men are trash.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I am so on board with you. I don't like to dwell on negative things. Also don't like to be toxically positive. I'm not like, everyone has to be happy all the time. Like, of course, you're going to have hard moments. And like getting divorced was the hardest thing I ever did. It was so hard, so
Mhm.
stressful. So I understand like there's really hard things in life. There's hard moments in life. There's hard moments in dating. But I'm like, that's not what I'm going to focus on. Like I'm going to choose to focus on the good things because whatever you focus on, you will see more of that. So I
Yes.
want to focus on the good
Yes.
things.
So true. Okay, tell me how your new you do so many series. I'm like always inspired. I'm like, I gotta do another series. Tell me how the How to Hoe series came about. And like what's been like the maybe like your three best, parts of that series so far, your
Yeah,
favorites.
totally. So I think that came about. I did a video like totally off the cuff that was like the unspoken rules of dating after divorce. And I literally I like recorded it one time. It's like a 1 minute video, like didn't think anything of it. And like people hooked onto it and they were like, this is great because my number one rule for dating after divorce is that you must have a hoe era. So like
I need
as
to do
soon as
that.
as soon as people heard that, the people who were into that were like, oh, like this
Yeah.
this is my thing because not a lot of people are talking about that because like most of the content I think about dating after divorce is like you need to heal, stay in your own space, like be quiet at night, like tuck yourself in, don't let a man into your space, like and I'm like you need to have a hoe era. Like it's going to be healing. And some people really want to hear that because for some people, myself included, having a hoe era, like dating around
Mhm.
and having fun is part of the healing process. Like, I'm not saying don't heal, don't do the work on your own. Like, I absolutely am firmly a believer. Like, I started therapy before I had the conversation about ending my marriage and did it throughout the separation process and everything. Of course, you need to heal on your own, but I think you also have to heal like if you're healing from a relationship, you need to heal in relationship with someone else. So
Yes.
part of that for me is like putting yourself out there, getting in front of other people, having different experiences because it tells your brain like, okay, this one experience that I had with my ex is not the same as every other experience. And
Yep.
I just find it so fascinating how you as a person will interact differently with different people like depending on who's
Oh
sitting
my
across from you
God.
you're like oh like this different side of me came out like this is so interesting. So I think dating around is like part of like finding yourself, healing yourself,
Mhm.
just like having new experiences. And for me it was like it really helped like build my confidence back up by just like getting out there. So yeah, people hooked onto it and they were like, yes, thank you for this. Like everybody says I need to heal and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, you do, but like this can be part of the healing process.
I so agree. And like not to fall into like the toxic positivity at all, but like I believe like everything is helping me in some way. It's happening and it for me and it's helping
Hmm.
me somehow. So even looking at my first relationship post divorce, it was a little dramatic, a little like just a lot happening in it. And I look at it now, I'm like, oh wow, like that really kind of helped me get over like my marriage ending. And it also really taught me like Ali said it best. She's like, in your marriage, you had your buckets of the needs you needed met. They were trickling. Some were like very full, but like the ones you really wanted were just like driplets in there. And then now this relationship, you're like, oh, things are getting more full, but they're not full yet. So I just really learned about a different type of person. I also
Hmm.
learned that like I do not want kids or I will not date someone with kids. So people can say like my some family members or whoever was like, oh, like what a waste, you wasted 6 months. I'm like, well, not really. Like I really just realized like kids, no. Like you live far away from me, no. Like gotta live in proximity to me in the city, no kids, and just different things I didn't realize because I've never been faced with that in my life, what that looks like. So that relationship for me, like I showed up differently, I was treated differently, and now I know more of what I want and definitely what I don't want.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I don't think it's a waste of time. Like, just because a
Mhm.
relationship does not last forever does not mean it was a waste of time. Like, I don't regret even my marriage. Like, that was just like part
Same.
of my journey. I had to take that step. And I think every relationship is such like a teaching moment. Like
Mhm.
every person that comes into your life, I think they are showing you they're a mirror, they're a reflection back to you. They're showing you what
Mhm.
you need to
Mhm.
see. You're learning things that you need to learn, even if what you're learning is that's not what I want. Like, but
Mhm.
it's still
Mhm.
not a waste of time.
I've had people, I love that you say the reflection. I've had people comment back because I did a whole series on like what divorce taught me. And one of them I put was like relationships are just like familial, any type of relationship with someone, romantic or not, it's just a reflection of things you're not working on, some triggers, things you need to work on, things, whatever it is. And someone was like, I don't believe that because if someone treats me like crap, like I don't treat myself like crap. And I like to not argue, but like I can't think of the right word here, but I like to like question that. And like there probably is some area in your life where you're not showing up in the way you want, or you're doing like, triggers with like parents. Like you think you're so healed and you go home and you're like, oh God, like
Yeah,
those
totally.
things. And it's just like in relationships, they show you like there were definitely things in the first relationship post divorce where I was like, oh, like I'm feeling a little triggered. And like you said, healing. Like you can be so healed and you get into a relationship and then you're like, oh, that's not healed yet. And I think that's
Exactly.
so important to experience and not be completely closed off forever.
Definitely. And I think like even when you do get into a healthy relationship, you're still gonna like bump up against these like old wounds of yours with
Mhm,
a person, even in a healthy relationship. And so like you
mhm,
have to like work on it together. Like you can do so much healing on your own, but you're not going to heal those relationship wounds by yourself.
yeah. No, I 1000% agree. What would you say, like with the how to hoe, like is basically like rule one being like, okay, have a roster, and rule two be like be totally unattached? Like, is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah, I think like it's really so I will say a caveat to this is like you do have to have a strong sense of self. You can't be
Uh-huh.
like looking for your self-worth by dating a lot of
Yes.
people. You have to like feel good on your own. And
Mhm.
then the point is like exploration, basically.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so like I was saying before, when you are in front of different people, you just interact differently with them. And it's like, okay, like
Mhm.
what side of myself do I want to be coming out in a relationship? Like, do I like myself when I'm with this person across from me? And
Mhm.
I think like if you only have one experience in dating, you're only seeing this like one side of yourself. You're only seeing like this little part of you. And I think the more people that you get in front of, the more people that you interact with, the more that you learn about yourself and your preferences, like you were saying. And
Mhm.
I think like so you can't go into it looking for self-confidence. You have to like have a like inner self-knowing and then go out looking for like exploration and fun. I think it's also about fun because like I
Mhm.
don't know about you, but when like I got out of my marriage, like that was so hard. And I like spent so much time in my marriage being like sad and feeling alone even though I was married. And so when I was like ready to date, I was like, okay, well, let's have some fun. And so when the
Mhm.
goal is fun in dating, it's a lot easier to be successful than when the goal is, well, I need to get into a relationship. And so it sort of
Mhm.
takes the pressure off of it and you just get to get out there and explore. It's like, how much fun can I have? And when you're in your hoe era, I think coming out of a marriage, it's kind of no offense to anyone, kind of crazy to like want to dive back into a full-time, fully committed, monogamous, I'm going to be with this person forever type of relationship. Like that was
No.
not what I was looking for when I was dating after divorce. I was like, I just want to meet people, I just want to have fun. And so it just like felt really like low stakes to me, but I do understand that not everybody feels that way.
No, I so agree with that and also love that because I really try to speak in past tense because power of the tongue. I have tended to fall into the all or nothing. So it's like I started dating for the first time ever last April, and then it was like a ton of dates, and then I was like, okay, I think I like want to have a boyfriend, and then my mind was like, okay, we're being committed, right? And then looking back at it, I'm like, I really should have just kind of kept exploring and not that I shouldn't have committed so quickly, but I think I would have found it would have been the exploratory phase would have benefited me some more, I think,
Hmm.
and not being so attached. And it's funny because I have a friend and we were talking about dating and I had told her she was over here. I told her about the breakup happening and all, how breakups happen. It's always traumatic, even when you don't want it to be traumatic.
Yeah.
And she asked me, she was like, well, we were talking about getting back into dating. And she's like, well, what's the point of dating if not for marriage? And like, yes, we are very different people. And I totally respect that that's the always the end goal for her. And I was like, you know what, like I don't think it has to be that, because like, do I want to get married again? I don't know. But I
Hmm.
do know, me and Ali always say FTF, follow the fun. Where can I have fun? What can I keep doing? And just see where it leads me. And literally this applies to like everything in life. Every time I had some random opportunities, because I was following the fun and just taking the pressure off of it. And I'm very good at putting pressure. I don't know if you're kind of like me, but I put a lot of pressure on things as soon as I
Hmm.
create a goal in my mind. So I think when I get back into dating, I think I'm really gonna lean into like how to be a hoe, having my hoe era, and
Yes.
just having fun and taking the pressure off of it, because it doesn't need
Yeah.
to be like pass or fail. That's like the way my brain works. I'm sure for a lot of women too, they think that too.
Yeah. No, totally. But one of my like moments in therapy where I had like an aha was like, because I am also like, I'm a former ballet dancer. Like, I put so much
Oh
pressure on
wow.
myself to like
Uh-huh.
succeed. I'm also an eldest daughter. Like, it's just like, you better
Mhm.
like achieve
Mhm.
and do these things. But I realized that like, if I'm the one putting pressure on myself, then I can also be the one to take it off. And I was just like, wait, this is amazing. And it just like all
I
of a sudden
love that.
started to change. Yeah.
You just saved me so much in therapy bills. No, that yeah, so true, so true. And it's always the friends or just women in general where I think it's like where you're putting pressure on yourself for marriage or for the one partner, and it makes dating harder.
Hmm.
It really does.
Totally.
Anything I've ever tried to do and put pressure on myself, it's always harder. Always, always, always harder. So I think that's one thing I'm really gonna like take the pressure off. We were texting about this. I'm curious on your thoughts on this situation, because now I'm kind of gravitating towards, I think, one side more than the other. So I was at this new like bar that opened up, and I met two guys that night. And the one guy, a lot younger than I was hoping for, did not realize the age. I was like appalled at myself. He was 23 and I'm about to be 30. So I was like, yikes, a
But
little
those
young.
are those are I will say different life stages for sure.
That's called have a date night, or go out on one night and then probably never see you again. Who knows? Um, and mind you, the age. When you exchange numbers with someone, let's say on a Friday night, what is in your mind the follow up or the appropriate time to where they should make plans with you or for the following week or whatever it is? Like, what to you makes the most sense or should
Hmm.
happen?
That's a really great question. Are you like, so are you asking when should you expect to hear from them or when should you reach out or either?
So I didn't reach out. I was like, because he texted himself off my phone because his phone was broken. And I was like, that's fine. And I saw it, the phone was broken. And he reached out the next day and had
Okay.
asked, so Saturday, and asked to hang out with, well, to meet up that night. And I was like, you
Oh, that
literally asked
night.
me. Mhm. I was like, 4 hours, I'm busy. I wasn't busy, but I was
Yeah.
busy.
Right.
Um, and he was like, "Oh, well, next weekend." I'm like, "That could work." And this was, I think he said that on Saturday night or Sunday. And then this is this weekend. No plans have been made. So I'm like, interesting. Like, what was the point of all of that if you weren't going to follow through? Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Totally. Yeah, no, I think people get caught up a lot in texting, especially like in early dating. And I think it like really doesn't matter that much. Like people like put too much weight on it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think like if you first met someone and you exchange numbers, I would expect like to hear from them within a few days, like maybe no more than like 3 or 4, because otherwise you're gonna forget about them, you know? Um,
Yeah,
but I really think it's unreasonable to expect people to like respond immediately or like be available all the time when you really don't even know this person like at all. Um,
correct.
But I think like if he was like, "Oh, let's hang out again, like maybe next weekend," then you would think by Wednesday, he would like reach out to like start to plan something. Because yeah, I agree with you. Like the last minute text, "What are you doing 4 hours from now?" is like pretty disrespectful. Definitely if you don't know someone. Like so if you've already had an ongoing thing with them, maybe, but like a brand new like possible date, no. No.
That's what I'm saying. It was very, I was just like, no. And literally, I did TikTok. I was like, I am in a face mask. I just like gave myself a facial. Like, we're not going out. Like, we're staying in. um, okay, another question for you. And I've seen there's a girl, I'm forgetting her name. She's on TikTok. You might have seen her. She does a lot of dating, women and empowerment, a lot of flirting dating tips. She's very good at flirting. I should send you her TikTok. You guys
Yeah,
might
please
connect
do.
well. She is most known for she got I'm forgetting the name. It happens with darker skin where you can get a cut and then it creates some type of bump on your skin. She had dermaplaned her face and had this wild reaction. And that's what she kind of became known for because she would put a band-aid over it, but she would talk about how like her confidence isn't disrupted by kind of like, an imperfection. But
Okay.
anyway, she got them removed and then shaved her hair. She looks fantastic. She's like owning her new,
Okay,
empowerment
I don't
self.
think I know this person. You have to send it to me.
She's fab. I'm like, I gotta figure out how to have her on, but she's fabulous. So anyway, she's very big on flirting. And I saw a thing on TikTok where she was out and about and she was talking about how she just opens the door to a conversation and then leaves and then lets the guy do what he wants to do. And I'm like, you know
Uh-huh.
what? I like that. So her friend recorded the video. She went up to literally the tallest man possible and was like, "Oh, like you look really familiar." And they start talking, and then she gave him a mission. She goes, "Can you put my necklace on? It fell off." And then she turned around, he puts the necklace on.
Oh.
Uh-huh. And then she walks away. And then someone was saying, like, well, what's the point if you like didn't get his number? And she was like, I'm not attached to getting his number or not. I just open the door, it's flirting, it's fun, and if he comes over, he does, or he doesn't, he doesn't. And I'm
Hmm.
like, fabulous, because I also like I can get, and this happened in my marriage to where I can be very masculine, and that's
Hmm.
how I was showing up in my marriage. And I really want to take the back seat, let the guy approach me, do that type of thing. So, what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on approaching a guy versus like asking versus like opening the door to something?
Yeah. No, I love that opening the door approach because I agree. Something I realized I was also married to a man who was like more passive. And
Mm,
I was also more in my masculine energy when we were married. And I realized that was something that I did not want. So I had to like learn how to reverse those patterns.
mhm,
And so I do like a man who is going to like take the lead. Obviously, you
mhm,
can't in the wild make someone approach you, so you do have to like open the door. You have to like, you know make eye contact, like be make sure that you're open to conversation. And like you were saying, she said, "Oh, you look familiar," or whatever. So you can lead in that respect, because I think men, especially these days, are very afraid to approach women, because especially the good ones, the good guys, like they're like, "I don't want to
mhm,
be creepy, I don't want to be weird, I don't know if she has a
mhm.
boyfriend, whatever, whatever." So you do have to sort of like open that door, that or show them in some way that you are at least like open to being talked to or approached. And maybe that means you do start the conversation, but it doesn't mean you have to like lead it the entire time and being like, "Okay,
Mm,
well, what are you doing next week? Where's your number? Let me text you right away." And like you could just
uh-huh.
open the door to conversation and then let it be and see how he picks it up.
I like that. That's definitely more of the approach I will take in the future because right now I'm like kind of icked out by apps and meeting people in the wild. Honestly, it's like a whole nother tool, like in your tool belt, like a different part of your brain to
Definitely.
do that and find ways to not allow yourself to fall back into that pattern. Also, side note, remarried to the same person.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's like honestly part of the reason why I like started making content, because I was like, wait, I think so many people go through things that are so similar, but like nobody's talking about it, or they're just like whispering about it with their closest friend. And it's like, let's just like put it out there.
Oh no, I love that. Okay, so I wanted to ask about you started another series with the Field app. Tell me
Yeah.
about the Field app,
Okay,
like your
Field.
experience. Get
Oh my
into it.
God. I loved Field. Field, it's not for everyone. I'm gonna little asterisks to start. Not for everyone, but it is. I think that the like one of their marketing things is like that it's like for open-minded dating. And
Hmm.
for me, when I was in my hoe era and just like wanting to go out and about and meet people, this was this felt like a safer place to do that and explore than like Hinge, where it felt like those were like the main two apps I will say that I used.
Hmm.
Hinge and Field. And Hinge just like it was fine, but it did feel like most people on there were looking for just like a straight up relationship. And I was not ready
Hmm.
for that. Like, I think it's okay to be ready to date, but not be ready to just like jump into like a long-term committed relationship. And obviously, like Hinge has the little boxes that you can check, like, oh, short term, open to long, but like nobody even knows what those things mean, like, um,
Hmm.
and on Field, it is it is a lot more exploratory, I would say. And it's people who are looking to explore like dating non-monogamously or into like kink and like exploring different things. And people are a lot more open about what they're looking for. And to me, that was like first of all, overwhelming. It was overwhelming in the beginning, but then I was like, wait, I like this because you know so much about this person and what they're looking for and what they're into before you even get on a date. Because if you met them on Hinge, where you don't have all this information out in the open, you might not find this information out till you're like 3 or 4 dates in, and then you're like, wait, actually, we are not compatible in that way at all.
Hmm.
So you just like know going in, like, oh, like this is what I'm into, they're into it too. Like maybe we can explore this together. And it just like felt like a lot more like open and free. So yeah, I really like enjoyed that. And I feel like my most fun dates came from Field because it tends to be people who are okay with like putting themselves out there, being vulnerable, being open, being honest.
Hmm.
Knock on wood. I will say I did have one bad experience on there. I think as a woman you have to be careful because like this guy had on his profile that he was into like ethical non-monogamy, and I'm like, that's fine if you have a wife, like I don't care because I don't want to be your wife. Um as long as it's consensual. But so we're like messaging on the apps, and he was like, great, let's get on a date. He was like, before we do that though, I have to tell you that my wife doesn't know about this. And
Oh
I was like,
no.
dude, what? I'm like, that's the E in the E and M. You're missing the ethical part. So he was like, I understand if you don't want to go out. I was like, yeah, I don't want to go out. Like, what? Like,
Oh, poor
but
wife.
that was literally like the one like bad experience. And we didn't even get to a date, obviously. So, caveat, you have to like be careful, but you have to be careful on any app. You have to be careful on any app. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've had so many fun dates from Field, and I met my now partner there, and I for sure would not have met him in the wild.
Oh, that is good to know. Okay. So, okay, I'm glad you brought up the hinge thing and the like the checkbox. So, if you're in your hoe era, what are you checking?
I would say probably short-term relationship. I think that's like maybe the closest option probably on Hinge,
Mhm.
whatever that is. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of guys check short term, open to long. And like what I
Mhm.
always interpreted that to mean was like that they do want a relationship, but with the right person, which obviously duh. Like um
Right, right, right.
but I think you should put that you're like wanting a short-term relationship. And then like when you match with them, you can explain what that means to you. Um, I think when you're dating after divorce, you don't have to talk about your divorce like immediately. Obviously, if you
Mhm.
go on a couple of dates with this person, it's going to come out. You're going to talk about it, but I don't think it has to be like front and center. But you can
Mhm.
talk about it. You can be like, I just got divorced. I'm like not ready to dive fully back in, but I'm like would like to meet people, have fun. And if you're a woman who dates men, many, many men are open to having casual fun dates. So you don't have to worry about that.
So true, so true. I was talking to Allie, and I was like, I wonder if when I get back on Hinge, should I go back through the people I'd already matched with? And she's like, no, clean slate, clean slate. All those people, they're dead to you. I was like, that's a good point. Because like my for sure in the beginning when I first got on Hinge, like I was just like, sure, I'll match. Like, let's just see. And now like I feel like I have narrowed down when I don't want to say willing to tolerate, but my preferences, you know?
Totally.
And if I want to have fun on dates, like I don't want to be just having honestly fun with anyone. Like I want to have fun with someone I actually want to have fun with and not I think dating after divorce too, you kind of have this feeling of like, am I even desirable? Does anyone want to date me? Like, and so when you're getting, it's like dopamine hit after dopamine hit of all these matches, like, oh my God, he
Hmm.
wants to date me. Oh my God. Like,
Hmm.
I very much still wanted to be chosen,
Yeah,
especially going into the first relationship post divorce. And now I'm like, no, like, I can have preferences and also like standards. Standards.
definitely. Definitely.
Do you think
I,
your standards, or go ahead, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, have your standards changed, obviously post divorce, and even into your first big relationship?
Definitely, definitely. And I think that's what is great about the like exploratory hoe phase is like you are learning what you want, what you don't want, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what feels good. And like I started meeting like really good people. Like I've been lucky. I really like I had a couple like weird dates maybe or just like dates where we didn't have chemistry, but I really didn't have any horrible experiences. And a lot of people that I was going on dates with would show me like good things that I wanted. And it was like, oh, now it's like evidence for my brain that like this is out there. I can have it.
Mhm,
And so then
mhm,
you start like adding that to your like mental checklist of like this is what I want in a
mhm.
partner, this is what I want in a relationship. And like the better idea you have of what you want, it actually like narrows the field of people that you like want to go
Uh-huh,
out with. So in a
uh-huh.
way, it's harder because there's like less of a pool to choose from. But then when you do choose from that more narrow pool, like it's going to be a better fit for you and you're going to have like a better time.
Yeah, it'd be less like duds and less like, okay, this is terrible. Like, no offense to the short kings out there, but I gave one guy a chance at like my height, and I was like, this is not for me. It's not for me. There was one situation which I really realized like the importance of like having like boundaries. We never made it on the date because the day we was going on a date, his car got hit and he was fine. It was just like, parked. So we had to reschedule. He had to take his car in, and then it was I think right before I met my now ex-boyfriend, but then I was just like, "Hey, like this is too much going on right now." I was in the middle of buying a car. I was about to go. It was just a lot of things happening. And I was like, if you want to keep the door open, that's totally fine. If not, like I
Hmm.
understand, but like I just need to like take a hiatus from like trying to go on any dates right now. And I told that to like two or three guys, and one guy was like, "Oh yeah, totally fine. Like down to meet a coffee, whatever, whatever." And he responded. It was so odd. It was like, "I would hate to lose out on this special opportunity. Can I FaceTime you? You can tell me about it." We
Oh, and
had
you hadn't even been on a date? Oh my God.
And mind you, this man was like 7 feet tall, like jacked, like huge. And I was like, okay, this is like kind of scary. And then I was like, I really respect if you like would respect my boundary. Like, have a great day. Like, let me know. Like, we can always FaceTime whenever you want. I'm like, oh no, this is a man that like I can envision like strangling me in my sleep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I wasn't and like it was just such a weird, I was like, that's such a weird thing to say to
Yeah,
someone you haven't met before. So that
totally.
even that experience, we didn't go on the date, but it like taught me like, oh, like when you set a boundary, like do they respect it or do they
Hmm.
push the
Yeah.
boundary? And I think that's really important to experience, safely in some
So,
capacity.
so, yeah, so important. And I agree. That is way too much before you have ever even met someone. But I don't know. I mean, like, I'm so empathetic as a person. And sometimes it's so hard because it's like, I know that men have a harder time on dating apps than women. I know that's true. And so, like, I can see like if he got this match with this like really cute girl, like you're super cute, and he's like, no, I want to go on this date. So like I get that, but it's like it's you can't cling on to it like that. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, exactly, right? It pushed me away,
Yeah.
right? Same thing with like trying to get a guy's number. Like it probably pushed them away when you do that. And now I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. We're staying in our feminine. We're
Yes.
not.
Yes. But
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna like go back to your like height thing and
Yeah.
I get that. I feel like that's such a huge thing for women. And historically, I also love tall men, but like one of my things when I was like in the hoe era and the things that I do recommend for people who want to have a hoe era dating after divorce is to date all kinds of different people and like date people that you have never gone out with before. And that like includes the short kings. And I think like short kings, like some of them are really good. So I just want to,
Mhm.
justice for short kings, but also like date people like that you just never even thought you would because you just like you
Mhm.
don't know until you try it. But like okay, you at least you tried it and you're like, okay, not for me. But I think it's so
Mhm.
important to be like not have this very narrow vision of just this one type of person that you go out with. And like that's how people like run into trouble is when they keep dating the same type of person over and over and they're like everything is horrible because I just like keep running into these same problems. It's like, well, are you doing the same things? Like have you tried doing something else? Have you tried dating a different kind of person?
1,000%, 1,000%. Like if you're still going for the same guy that's 6 feet and over, blue eyes,
Yes.
typical.
And
Like, yeah,
also we're done giving men credit just for being tall. Being tall, like they didn't do anything to get that. They they have to they have to earn the rights another way.
no, I so agree with that. What are your thoughts on if someone, if a guy, if you have a date and it's like no chemistry, no nothing, are you
Mm.
splitting the bill? Are you saying like, oh, I'll pay for mine? Like, what are you doing? Or what did
Mm.
you do?
So like a first date, I mean, I know this is so controversial, but I'm the type of girl that I love when a guy pays for the first date. And
Same.
I think if they asked you on a date and even if you don't have chemistry, it's okay to let them pay. I don't know. It's like different for everyone. I certainly have split. Like there was a date that I can recall where, the second you walk up, you're like, oh, they're not for me. But you like sit down, you have one drink anyway. Like I can have a drink and talk to anyone for an hour. It's not that big a deal. But I like knew going into it, like this was for sure not for me. Like I definitely
Mhm.
split the bill on that one. But I don't think you like owe someone that. I think it's okay to let, if they're offering, to just let them pick it up.
Yeah, no, I'm very much like I prefer again, it's like I want like a masculine man, like paying for the bill, not there was one guy I didn't make notice on his profile after we had talked back and forth. He put like one of the green flags, it's like going 50-50 on dates. And looking back, I'm like, why did I not like it didn't register in my head. I was like, oh, he's older and taller. Like my old era of like anything, like
Yeah.
everything's great. Like who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely like pay for the bill. Like you asked
Because
me.
I do think it's like it is not equal like with men and women. Like first of all, nothing in life is 50-50. So if you're with a guy who always wants to go 50-50, I think that's at the very least an orange flag, if not a red one. But like women, we're the ones that are like putting ourselves in a much more vulnerable position by like going out to meet a stranger, a man on a date that we don't even know. And we put so much time and effort into like making ourselves look good. We are putting ourselves potentially in harm's way. We're like hoping that you're going to like treat
Yeah.
us well and we're going to be safe. So I think it's very okay to let the man buy your glass of wine on a date. Like it's okay. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you get into a relationship, they're not going to pay for you 100% of the time, all the time, forever and ever. But like for the
Mhm.
first few dates, I think it's okay for the man to pick up the check.
No, I agree. I'm sure there was a her name is what's her last name? Jade Schenker, I think. She's on the cast of Owning Manhattan. And she has a series on Instagram and TikTok. And it's like dating a baddie, the cost of dating a baddie, like
It
getting hair, skin, taking care. And it's expensive to like take care of
is.
yourself. And like I think women sometimes forget that like we basically are like when we're with a guy, whatever he looks like or not, we basically are like part of like, I hate to say it, but like part of like if a really attractive woman is with a guy, like his status is up
Hmm.
leveled
Yes.
always. So guys will always go for whatever, right? Because they're looking good, whatever. And I think if like we're gonna go on dates and spend the time on making ourselves look good and feel good, like you better be paying. You better be paying for that.
Yes. I'm with you on that.
What are some things you wish you knew earlier, like in your hoe era phase? Like maybe some mistakes that you made.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that I struggled with was just letting someone go when I like knew it wasn't a connection for me. Because for context, my divorce, which I initiated, was the first time I ever broke up with someone. Like, I just was like, I was always too afraid to like let go of any connections. And I'm also too afraid of like hurting someone. Like, I don't want to let anyone down. I'm just like that kind of a person. So I really struggled with telling people, like, hey, it was like really nice to meet you, but I just don't think this is the right connection for me. Like, that was really hard for me in the beginning. That was so hard.
Mhm.
And I just like wish I knew that it was completely okay to say that. And like the sooner you can say that and the sooner you can let people go who are not for you, then the sooner you can find someone who is a better fit for you. And also, you don't have to soften it. You don't have to soften it by being like, oh my God, you were so wonderful. And it's not about you. And don't worry about it. And we can be friends if you want. Like, you can just say, like, it was great meeting you. I had a good time. This is not the connection I'm looking for. You wish you all the best. And like, that's all you need to do. And that is not
Oh, I
mean.
like
It's
that.
not, that is not mean.
I'm gonna have to copy and paste that and save that in my notes app. Yeah, no, I think that's like, yeah, connection for sure, and being okay with like, you're gonna hurt someone, of course, like you're not
Yeah.
intentionally trying to, but breaking a connection off when maybe they think it's going well, it's always gonna
Mhm.
create some, some edge. Okay, so what if you go on date, like you said, you've been on dates where you go in, you're like, ooh, and you stay. Have you ever, or would you consider ever, like not staying or like cutting it super short? How do you approach that?
I mean, I have never just been like, oh, never mind, bye. Like I can't do that. That's beyond me. But and I'm okay, like have a conversation with someone. Like maybe you'll learn something. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think like in that situation, you just have to, be kind and um like you know that they're not going to be for you and that's okay. And then you just like let them know afterwards, or I don't know. Like to me, in that situation, I wouldn't proactively reach out and be like, hey, you weren't for me. I would sort of wait for them to text me to see if they thought they were like gonna go further and like wanted to go out again. Because sometimes it's just like a mutual no, which is a beautiful thing. And you just part ways and you never talk and you never see them again. And I think that's
Uh-huh.
very acceptable. But if they were to reach out and be like, oh, I had a great time, I would love to go out again, then I would do that. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you, but this is not right for me. Um,
Mhm.
I think I had one person ask me one time in person if I wanted to go out a second time, and I had to like sort of tell them to their face in the moment. And that felt
Mhm.
really, really hard. And I did not love doing that. Because it's hard because you don't like letting people down. And it
Mhm.
always stings. It stings a little bit, but that's all it is. It's just a little sting, and then they're gonna get over it and they're gonna be on to the next and they're gonna be fine. But yeah, I can't like I would never just turn around and not go.
Yeah, no, that I was on a maybe a I don't know, third, fourth date, and the guy, me looking back now, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I kept dating him for a bit. But he told me that he got out of the car and he parked next to the girl. He didn't realize it. And then he got out, she got out, and they realized who each other were. And he said he got in the car and left. I was like, and then me, I was just like, I can be very like, when something shocking happens, I just kind of like do a nervous laugh because like I didn't know how to respond. I was like, oh, like not like, wow, that was so rude. Like you could have said something, or you know what I mean? Much
Yeah.
better ways to approach that.
Yeah.
And that was telling of what could have happened later on, you know, if I had like seriously dated him. But
Yeah.
when he
I
told
think
me
that's
that, I
like
was like,
that I can't do it because then it's like so clearly about what this person looks like. And then like to be on the receiving end of that, that would hurt. That would hurt.
yeah, too much of an empath for that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that hurt me. That hurt me. um, when it comes to texting someone, messaging on Hinge, like, are you a or any app? Are you a let's exchange phone numbers like soon after the first date? Like, what are your best practices on like phone numbers?
I liked to keep things on the app until we went on an actual date in real life.
Mm.
For whatever reason, in my experience, this was like another mistake I made in the beginning was like I would sometimes like exchange numbers with someone and I found that those people had no interest in going on a date. Like it was so bizarre. Like they ask for your phone number and then they like send you some random texts and but they don't ask you on a date. I'm like, "What is the point of this?"
Mhm.
So I just like
Right.
found that was like the kiss of death was like giving out your phone number before you met them. So I was just like, I'm not doing this. We're just gonna keep everything in the app. And then everything is also then organized just like in the one place. And then after the date or like on the date, if you're having a good time, then I would offer to exchange numbers. Um, and then another like in my evolution, things that I learned in dating, this was just my sneaky little thing. Like I just like stopped saving guys' numbers.
Oh,
I would not save their number until I like actually kind of liked them and like we went out more than a couple of times. Like cuz they had to earn a spot in my phone. Otherwise it would just be like a number.
I love that. I do like funny nicknames. Like I don't put their name on there until like they earn like their actual name. So like I'll like whenever I started dating my ex-boyfriend, like I kept getting like random texts, you know, because they always come back from like different people. I'm like, what is like
Who is this?
what's barista boy doing here? Like it's like been months, but okay, like goodbye.
Yes, men do always come back. They always come back.
They always come back, seriously. And something to keep in mind, women don't chase after them because they always come back at some
That's
point.
right. That's right.
What is something you think, I would say, like your biggest tip, I would say, just overall with dating, like one staple thing like every woman should know just for dating in general?
Oh my gosh, this is a big question. The number one thing. Hmm. I mean, honestly, I would say like keeping an open mind is so
Mhm,
important because yeah, when you have this like very one specific vision of the type of person that you want or the type of relationship or like what you imagine something is going to be, it's going to be a lot harder to find that. But when
mhm,
you're open to a lot of possibilities, you might be really surprised um, by yourself and by other people of like what can come into your life. And I'm saying this because like my partner who I just recently moved in with and it's like the best most healthy relationship of my life. I've like never been happier and like I never would have met him because he's just so far outside of like what I thought my like partner would be like or what my relationship would look like. And if I had not just like expanded my mindset and been open to meeting all kinds of people, I just like wouldn't
mhm,
have met him. And he's just like this most wonderful, kind, like caring, thoughtful
mhm.
person. And I would have filtered him out if I had like gone with like what I had in my head of what I thought my like boyfriend or relationship would be.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, just being open to different possibilities, different people, different things. And I think that's smart because, yeah, when you pigeonhole yourself into what you've always done, what you've always liked, you're pigeonholed and you're not going to know what's out there until, you know, you go out and see what's out there. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. Well, you don't have to jump off right away, but where can our viewers, yes, viewers and listeners find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I just got on Instagram. Finally
I
took the
saw.
dive. I'm Alex.yaps on there, and I'm Alex Yaps with two P's and yaps on TikTok. We have a good time. We're we're a fun little group over there. I'm like loving the women that come to my page. It's such like I love that about TikTok. It's just such a good
Mhm.
community and everybody is so supportive. And so yeah, if you find yourself in a dating after divorce journey, come and join us. We're having fun.
Lots of fun. And we'll put all of your links in the show notes so they'll be able to click right there and find you. But I had so much fun. I wish Allie could have been here because I know she's always good with follow-up questions too. But I hope you
Yeah,
had a blast.
I did. Thank you so much
And
for having me, Maddie.
well, of course, we'll definitely have to do a part two of some maybe post my how to hoe era. We could talk
Yes,
about that.
I cannot wait to follow your Hoe era journey. I think you're gonna have so much fun.
Oh, thanks. You know TikTok will know about it.
Yes.
All right, bye.